الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على خير الأنبياء والمرسلين نبينا محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم وخليل الله ونسأل الله سبحانه وتعالى يجعل هذه محاضرة حجة لنا ولا حجة علينا يا رب العالمين. اللهم أرنا الحق الحق وارزقنا اتباعه وأرنا باطنا باطنا وارزقنا اجتنابه اللهم آمين يا رب. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله تعالى وبركاته. Alhamdulillah, ahsantum wa mashayikh. As always, we want to start by giving thanks to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and everyone who has come out to participate. As the Prophet ﷺ, he mentioned, Man la yashkur nas, la yashkur Allah. Whoever has not thanked the people has not truly thanked Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So we want to thank everyone for coming out to participate. As we mentioned, just as quick maraja'a, we're studying what? What are we studying? Yawm al-Akhir, right? And that consists of what? We said when Jibreel alayhi salam came to the Prophet ﷺ, he said, Akhbirni an al-iman, tell me, or akhbirni an iman. He mentioned 6 things. And one of the things that he mentioned, he said, is to believe in the last day. And the last day consists of 4 pillars, we said. Major and minor signs. The barzakh. What else? Yawm al-Qiyamah. And then also what? Jannah and Nar. Jannah and Nar. Very quickly, just for a few questions to make sure the young brothers in the back are awake, right? So yeah. How will Yawm al-Qiyamah start? The brothers in the back, the young brothers. How will Yawm al-Qiyamah, how would it start? Sheikh Misal, Athani. The trumpet will be blown, but yes, but everybody's going to be standing for 50,000 years, we know that. But how would Arat and Hisab, how would it start? He would go before the throne of Allah and prostrate and ask for this punishment to be removed because the sun is what? How close? 1 mile from the heads of the people. After standing for 50,000 years. Right? However, for the believer, it won't feel that long. We mentioned this. The last thing we said that we would go through the different al-arat, hisab, mizan. We spoke about these different things. The last class, we spoke about the sarat, crossing the sarat. Right? And we spoke about that. We said there was another bridge, though. What was that bridge?
The reconciliation bridge.
What was it called? The brothers in the back. Yeah. I took it off. Man ghasha falaysa minna. All right? Whoever cheats is not from us. What was that other bridge called? Huh? Qantara. And this is the bridge of what?
Reconciliation.
You had to come to class. I don't know. 60 years old, There's a lot of stuff we didn't hear. Some people hear about Islam at 60. The first time. Alhamdulillah, ahsan. That's the beauty of class. All right, beauty of class. So this hadith actually comes, right, on authority of Abu Sayyid al-Khudri. He said that after the believers have been saved from the hellfire and crossing the Sirat, right, there's another bridge. This bridge is a bridge of safety. It's not scary. But it's right before a person enters Jannah. This bridge is called the bridge of basically Qantara. It's the bridge of Islah. Because we have to what? Make reconciliation between the two, right? You can't get into Jannah and have personal beefs, right? Musa's going to have to forgive me. He's going to have to let me come to his castle, right? He just can't say, Abdul Wahhab didn't give me salams in the dunya. He's not coming over here, right? That's on the day of judgment. The day of judgment is for the sins that occur between you and Allah, right? And the person is being punished for that. However, what about, and also the deeds that, let's say I harmed you, may Allah forbid. If I have any good deeds, Allah will give them to you, and so on and so forth, right? That's just the repayment period. However, but for the personal issues that we have had in between each other, we need to reconcile because of that. And so what happens here is that Allah delayed it towards the end, right before entering Jannah. What was the wisdom? Shaykhana, Doctor. La, ya al-Hafid. And what is the wisdom of delaying this bridge of reconciliation? Why didn't Allah put it in the beginning? Why did He delay it all the way to the end? The Qantara. He says a filter.
Yes. Because Allah Ta'ala won't forgive somebody's.
But this is not Allah's forgiveness. This is between me and you. The personal issues between each other. You said love. Musa, what do you say? You said love? Play it. Shaykhana. You didn't get in Jannah yet. It's right before Jannah.
Like a final test?
It's no test. It's for us to make up personal issues. Habib, what do you say what's the wisdom is? Why did Allah delay it right before Jannah?
Because it's the hardest part.
It's the hardest part. It's harder than Salat.
Yeah. Let something go. Yeah.
So some of the scholars said that one of the main wisdoms why Allah delayed it is so, especially we got to think about after everything we done been through, the Salat, the punishment, Allah forgave us and so on and so forth. After Allah favored you and protected you from the fire, how can you hold this animosity towards your brother? Right? So therefore Allah delayed it at the end to increase the people in what? Love, having mercy with one another and so on and so forth. Right? I don't want to say we get to this point and I hold on between a personal issue between me and another brother. And then, come on, akhi, we passed the Salat together. We done been through the punishment of the grave. May Allah protect us. I mean, and you still arguing about this? So therefore, having said that, Allah will also, He delayed this towards the end. That's what some of the scholars mentioned. Today, what we're going to study is the hellfire. Right, we're going to study the hellfire, and we're going to mention this particular narration. Abdullah bin Amr bin As, radiallahu anhu, he said, لو يعلم أحدكم حقيقة جهنم لسرخ منا حتى ينقطع صوته ولصلى منا حتى ينقص صلبه. SubhanAllah. He said, if any of you knew the reality of the hellfire, you would scream until you lost your voice, and you would stand in prayer until your back broke. If you really knew the reality of the hellfire. A lot of people do not know that there are two types of punishments in the hellfire. I'm not talking about in detail, because there's many different punishments. Generally speaking, Allah will punish the people one of two ways. Does anybody know? Say it again. A lot of people do not know that there's actually a punishment in the fire that is freezing cold. Allah will punish the people either with fire or either with extreme coldness. Does anybody know the name of this? Sheikh. Oh, is this the first time you heard this before?
First time. No.
He said,
When Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said to Ibrahim, Kuni bardan wa salama.
well, that's something else. No.
This common.
It's coming.
Heat and the cold,
Tayyib.
Because, after a certain degree, the heat becomes like a cold.
Well, not necessarily. What I mean here, we have a punishment in the fire that specifically is in hellfire is punishes with fire. But there's another portion of hell that the people will enter to that will be freezing cold, that will cut their bones and what have you and torture them because it's freezing cold. This part of the fire is called, this part of the Jahannam, this part of the punishment is called Zamharir. Zamharir. I want everyone to go to chapter 73, Surah Al-Insan, verse number 13. Surah Al-Insan, verse number 13. There's a hadith, and many of us probably have heard this before, that ishtakat an-nar ila rabbiha, that the hellfire complained to his Lord, right? And the hellfire said, some parts of me eats other parts. I'm going to get back to the verse. Some parts, once you listen to this hadith, the hellfire said to Allah that some parts of me eats the other parts. And the hellfire was asking Allah to let me have some type of relief. What was the relief that Allah gave it? Does anyone know? Does anybody know? The hadith? But we get back to the surah. We get back to the surah.
He allows these releases twice a year.
Twice a year. The hadith mentions that Allah allows the hellfire to breathe twice a year. And in the hottest time, this is a portion of the hellfire breathing. And in the coldest time, this is a part of the hellfire breathing. And the scholars, they mentioned this is Zamharir. This is Zamharir. Right? So therefore, there are two main punishments, generally speaking, of Jahannam. Is either will be what? Heat, or will be what? Cold. Extreme. Just to say cold is the service. It is extremely cold. And we're going to mention other proofs as we go along. We're going along here, inshallah ta'ala. All right? Huh? We're going to get back to the surah. I'm going to go to Surah Al-Insan, verse number, what I said, 13? Yes, can you read it?
Reclining therein upon high couches, they will not see therein burning sun nor freezing cold.
Allah mentions لا يرون فيها الشمس ولا زمهرية. So here Allah mentions that in Jannah they will not experience, there's no shams. They will not experience any type of what? No heat or anything that will bother them. Wala zamharir. Also zamharir meaning an extreme coldness. The scholars of tafsir from Ibn Abbas radiallahu anhu, he said that this is opposite obviously in the hellfire, where the punishments either will be specifically with fire or it will be what? Cold. Some of the scholars of tafsir they have mentioned, wallahu a'lam, that the people will alternate between the two, subhanallah. Right? Being punished between here and being punished here and being punished here and being punished here. Wallahu a'lam. It's from the matters of the unseen, but we're going to go into further detail about it. But nevertheless, I want you to understand when we talk about the different punishments, and if you take in consideration, just look at some of the evil you have seen with your own eyes. The atrocities that happen in the world today, right? Against different people, Muslim and non-Muslim, children or what have you. There's a reason why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, he mentioned jaza'an wifaqa. When he talks about the hellfire, he says that this is an equal punishment to what you have used to do. This is a reward for what you have used to do. But you think about some of the evil you have seen. How much more of the evil that Allah has seen from the beginning of creation all the way to the end, and it's getting worse and worse and worse as we go. All right? So nevertheless, here we're going to talk about how long. We're going to start here. They're going to go into detail as far as the punishment is concerned. But how long would a person remain in the hellfire? No, you said abadan. So anybody who goes to the hellfire, abadan.
It's a specific time or
The one shirk, one making the shirk.
The ones make shirk,
until they pay for what their sins are.
pay for their sins, huh?
Muslims have to be cleansed with the fire,
What is the number? It's a number.
Tayyib. So yes, so we need to actually clarify something. 1 second. Jannah is darajat. Jannah goes up in levels, and the hellfire goes what? So they say it's a statement. Jannah darajat wa nar darakat, meaning that it goes down in levels. Okay, one of the greatest proofs for this, I want everyone to go to this surah. Just give me a second. If I learn how to open my phone. Chapter 4, verse 145. Surah An-Nisa, verse 145. Inna munafiqina. Sheikh Mustafa, you should know it. It's slahakallah, Sheikh. Tayyib. Chapter 4, verse 145. Who has it?
Verily, the hypocrites shall be the lowest abyss of the fire.
In the munafiqina fi dark al-asfali min al-nar. Allah mentions, yes.
The hypocrites will be in the lowest depths of the fire. No helper will thou find for them.
Tayyib. Here Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentions the munafiqeen will be in the lowest part of the fire. The lowest part of the fire. And so the question becomes, why is the hypocrites in the lowest part of the fire? What's so special about them?
They're falsehood. They pretended to be Muslims or righteous in front of the pious people, and when they weren't around them, they became themselves.
Tayyib. Anybody else?
What was the question?
What is the wisdom of why that the hypocrites will be in the lowest part of the fire? What
That's like the worst sin.
One of the worst sins. Tayyib. Remember we said that Jannah goes up in what? And hellfire goes down in levels. And the reason why it goes down in levels, we mentioned before, out of Allah's mercy, on Yawm al-Qiyamah, He would weigh the deeds of everybody. Hatta kuffar. Even those who disbelieve in Him, He will weigh their deeds. He will weigh their deeds. But these deeds will determine what? And some of the scholars, he mentioned what? These deeds determine what, Habib?
Where your ability, your placement,
Your placement where?
hellfire.
Some of the scholars mentioned that these deeds determine a person's placement in the hellfire. Because not everybody disbelieved the same. You have people who disbelieve, but they also were oppressive. You have people who disbelieve, or for an example, like we mentioned, the munafiqeen. Outwardly they display as if they believed, but inwardly they did what? They disbelieved. So therefore, the scholars have mentioned that, again, the hellfire goes down in levels, and each of these levels have names. Does anybody know the names of them? We're going to find out? Yeah, inshallah, we never find out. We're going to find out today in class, though. Huh? Jahim is one of them. Saqar. What's the proof for that, too? You just can't be screaming out names. Huh? Saqar. Is one surah? Which surah? Saqar. Shaykhana, Doctor, Fadila. Mustafa. ما سلككم? Aha. Here, a surah. He just mentioned it. Just fine. The angels, they will ask them, what made you enter what? Saqar. He specifically says Saqar. It's a portion of the fire here, a certain level called Saqar. And they will mention, we were not from those who what? We were not from those who prayed. All right? We were not those who prayed. And what else did they mention? We didn't feed the poor. And what else? And what else? And we denied the day of judgment. Scholars, they mentioned something very interesting here. They said that this ayah, wallahu a'lam, is a proof that everyone is held accountable. And everyone will be punished for not holding out the commandments of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, even if they didn't believe. People will be punished for not fasting, whether they believed or not in Allah or not. People will be punished for not praying. Even the kuffar will be punished for not fasting. They will be punished for not praying. What happened? And this ayah is a proof, because they said we denied the what? The day of judgment. No Muslim denies what? The day of judgment.
Even if the ones who are not known of Islam?
We're going to go back to that, inshallah.
I missed that part?
Yes, you did. You got to come to class, akhi. Play it, inshallah. So what happens here, we'll take a step back and address that. So we have Jahim, we have Saqar. What other names of the levels of the hellfire we have? Ladha, Hutab, Sa'id. Sheikh Google, right? Inshallah. We have all these different levels. He saved us time, alhamdulillah. But yes, we have these different levels. And it's mentioned, the lowest level, though, as far the different, you'll find different people. They'll say the first level is this one, the second level is this one. There's no hadith to stipulate that the first level is called this, the second level is called this, the third level is called this. Rather, they are just different names of the hellfire. However, there's only one proof, and Allah knows best. They mentioned the lowest the lowest level of the hellfire, which the munafiqeen will be in, is called what? Who knows? Hawiyah. Where does this come from? Which surah? Recite it. That part. Huh? For ummuhu hawiyah. What does that mean? Sheikh Misr. Where's Yusuf? There. At home sleeping? Studying. MashaAllah. For ummuhu hawiyah. What does it mean? It's not a test. What is in Arabic language? It's mother. For ummuhu hawiyah. Scholars of Tafsir mention the reason why Allah mentions, and who is he talking about here for ummuhu hawiyah? What's the ayat before it? We got too many Muslims in here. Come on, akhi. Huh? Allah talks about the different characteristics of these people. But he mentions for ummuhu hawiyah, his mother is hawiyah. And the scholars, they mention this is the lowest level of the fire. Wallahu a'lam. They say that for anyone, for an example, like a mother who loves her child and she hugs her child and she never wants to let it go, whoever into this part of the fire will never be let out. So Allah gives the analogy for ummuhu hawiyah. His mother is what? Hawiyah. So
How do we justify that they deserved that much punishment?
because Allah la yazlim ahad. Allah doesn't oppress anyone. So therefore, who's placing them there? Not me, not you. It's Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And we know that because Allah, from His infinite wisdom and from His mercy, He doesn't oppress anyone. He has weighed their deeds. He has showed them the mercy or what have you. And He has made the decision from His infinite wisdom to place them in these particular parts. Just like He has made the decision to place people in Jannah in certain parts. Right? And we're going to talk about that too, inshallah. But nevertheless here, we talk about how long would a person remain in the hellfire. It's either one or two. Either it will be temporarily. So can somebody read this? It's too much. I can't really see it from the side.
A person is being punished due to sins they have committed. However, because of their faith in Allah, Allah will eventually let them out.
Oh, yeah. What proof can you name? Like there's people have been saying, like for an example, the Muslims do not know if they're going to hellfire, or they don't know if they're going to Jannah, or what have you. So how do we know here? It says a person being punished due to the sins they committed. However, because of their faith in Allah, Allah will let them out. What proof do you have for this?
It's a promise of Allah.
The promise of Allah where?
He told us that,
Those who say La
go back to
ilaha
my
illallah will,
he said that we will, that He will let us into paradise if we believed in Him.
Where's that at though?
I'm going to go back and tell you right now.
Whoever does a good deed, they will see it. Play it. Huh? Anybody else?
or those who say La ilaha illallah will enter Jannah.
Whoever says La ilaha khalisan min qalbihi dakhala jannah. Whoever says he believes in Allah sincerely from his heart will eventually enter what? Eventually paradise. However, we have some Muslims that do certain things they're not supposed to be doing. Right? They commit major sins and they do not ask Allah for forgiveness. Then this subjects them to temporary punishment. However, because of their faith, Allah will eventually do what? Let them out. When we talk about the hellfire, though, this is not something that should be taken lightly. I want everyone to go to Surah Al-A'raf, chapter 7. If you can pull up on your phone, huh? Sincerely from his heart. Eventually, he's guaranteed paradise, inshallah. So that's a great question. If you are from the if it's during this time, right, then obviously he has to believe in Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, because that's the condition. That's shahadatan. Both, one has to complement the other. Because a part of believing in La ilaha illallah, that there is no one in worthy in worship and truth except for Allah, is that you accept all the conditions that come with that. And a part of those conditions is you believe in his messengers, i.e. his last messenger being Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So you can't just say La ilaha illallah, but I don't believe in Muhammad. That's not going to work. It's not going to work. Because if you do that, then that cuts off your true belief in La ilaha illallah, that you sincerely singled out Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and worship, because Allah has told you that I have sent these messengers to clarify it to you.
Those Christian people who believe that one Allah.
Mm-hmm.
So those are including this.
So we're going to talk about that too, about those who knew about it and those who didn't know about it. But let me just go back to that, inshallah. Again, there's a verse in Surah Al-A'raf where Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, he says, when he talks about وَنَادَ أَصْحَابُ الْجَنَّةِ أَصْحَابُ النَّارِ هَلْ وَجَدْتُمْ مَا وَعَدَ رَبُّكُمْ حَقًّا قَالُوا No. It's a part in Surah Al-A'raf. Can you get the verse? I didn't write down the verse number. وَنَادَ أَصْحَابُ الْجَنَّةِ أَصْحَابُ النَّارِ. Here, there's a conversation that will happen. Huh? 44? Chapter 7, verse 44. There's a conversation that Allah talks about, and Imam Shawkani in his tafsir, he actually talks about this. It's pretty interesting. He says that the people of Jannah will call out to the people of the hellfire and say, do you find what your Lord has promised you to be true? from the punishments, from everything that you're going through. And they will say what?
Yes.
Yes. Later on, if you keep reading, Ashab al-Nar, they asked to speak to who? Ashab al-Jannah. And they asked to just give me what? The tafsir behind this, when the people of the hellfire, they will actually ask Allah for a favor. And this is the tafsir behind this. They will ask Allah, can you call our relatives, specifically our relatives who are in Jannah? Can you call them here? And it's mentioned in this tafsir, when the people of Jannah come close and they look at some of the people of the hellfire, they will not even recognize them from the severe punishment and torture they've been going through. To the people of the hellfire, they will call out to the people of Jannah, I'm so and so and so and so from your family. And they would try to remind them of certain favors they did for them in the dunya. Remember, I gave you this in the dunya. I did this for you. I did this for you. I did this for you. But they're calling out favors, and then they're going to ask for this. And Tufida alayna, they will mention all these favors and just say, can you just give me some water or anything that Allah has given you in Jannah? Just give me that. And what will your response will be? Anna Allah harama ala kafirin. Allah has prohibited me from doing so. So here, some of the scholars mention that there are different forms of punishment in the fire. There's physical torture. There's psychological and mental torture too. We talked about there being punishment with fire and punishment with severe what? Cold. When people enter the fire, again, it will either be a temporary punishment, and only Allah knows best how long that will be, or it will remain forever, and there's only two types of people that will remain in the hellfire forever. Those are the people who commit shirk, totally outright, who died upon shirk. I shouldn't have just said those who committed. Because Allah can forgive shirk. Yes or no?
Yes.
What is the condition?
Don't die upon it.
Huh? Don't die upon it. If a person dies upon it, then khalas, khalidina fiha. However, and also the hypocrites. These are the only two who will remain in the hellfire forever. No one else. It is not permissible for us to pass judgment on other people, right? To say that so-and-so is going to be in the hellfire, this one's going to be in the hellfire, and so on and so forth. But these are only two classifications of people who will remain in hell forever. As for those, to answer your question, as for those who never heard about Islam, then it's mentioned, for an example, someone who was mentally diminished. Maybe they had, I don't want to use the R word, but everybody's understand what I'm saying, right? He had mental issues, right? He couldn't comprehend anything, right? Or someone who was basically, they was deaf, they couldn't hear the message, or what have you. The scholars of Islam, they mentioned that Allah will what? He would test them on Yawm al-Qiyamah. Huh?
I said, oh, snap.
First time you heard that?
Yeah, first time.
So Allah will test them on Yawm al-Qiyamah. They specifically, these are for the people who never heard the true message of Islam. They died, but they never heard the true message of Islam. So on Yawm al-Qiyamah, out of Allah's fairness, He will test them on that particular day. In Najah, if they pass that particular test, this will be indicative that had the message came to them in the dunya, they would have done what? They would have accepted it. If they failed the test on that day, it would be shown that had the message came to them, they would have done what? They wouldn't have accepted it. So some of the scholars they mentioned here, what's interesting is that if a person fails the test on that particular day, it is clear that he never would have what? Why is that?
It's an easy test.
It's an easy test. Think about it. I saw the angel of death. I've been in the barzakh. On Yawm al-Qiyamah. I have seen angels. I have seen everything. I've seen Allah spoke to me, and I still failed the test.
Time to see hell.
It's time to see hell at that point. So it's clear, there's no there's no scholar. If you failed the test and Allah tested you, there's no human being on earth would have given you da'wah and you would have accepted it. All right. But it goes to show you here, though. It goes to show you here, out of Allah's fairness, that He's fair to who? Everyone. If they didn't hear the message, He gives them an opportunity to be tested on this particular day, right? As well. And it's mentioned in the hadith that there are 4 classifications of people. One of them mentioned that someone who has reached an old age, he can't comprehend nothing. Another one who is mentally diminished, basically, I don't want to use the R word, everybody knows what I'm talking about. and then also someone who was deaf or what have you. During those times, he couldn't hear anything. There's different classifications of people. If Islam truly never came to them, out of Allah's fairness, he would test them on that particular day. And if they failed that test, then they will be from these people.
What's the
What's the
reason
test?
the message didn't go to some people, you know?
So it could be for a myriad of different reasons. Wallahu a'lam, right? Perhaps they were in a locale where no one gave them the message, right? I'm not passing judgment on anybody, but for an example, this is just for an example, and Allah knows best. I was watching a documentary, probably I don't know how long ago, but they found tribes of people like in the Amazon, like somewhere deep, and you start thinking like they haven't met civilization in hundreds and hundreds of years. That was like they don't even speak the same language as the closest locale of everybody else. You see what I'm saying? So here, out of Allah's fairness, my point is, I'm not saying that these people or anybody else, but you got the beauty of Islam is that Allah shows that even the people who never had the opportunity to hear the message, that He will give them a chance on Yawm al-Qiyamah. And it's not just straight to hell or what have you. Has everybody got that? So I have a question here. You have the hadith that the pen is lifted from 3 types of people. All right? Does that mean it's automatic Jannah for them?
Yes.
You say yes. Okay. Oh. So this is a hadith. رُفِعَتِ الْقَلَمُ عَنْ ثَلَاثَةٍ. The pen has been lifted from 3 types of people. Who are those 3 types of people? The mentally ill until they what? So they gain their sanity? Uh-huh. The sleeping until you what? Wake up. And then also the child until they reach what? Puberty. All right? طيب. However, this is haqqullah, right? They're not held accountable with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, but they are held accountable between what? Us as well. So we're going to talk about that too, but however, we're going to come back to that. What I mentioned, let's talk about some of the descriptions of the hellfire. I know this is very small, but just to breeze through it very quickly. You have also, let's mention one of them. The hellfire is extremely wide and extremely deep. It is extremely, extremely deep. The Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Does anybody can mention a narration how deep the hellfire is? Huh?
The drop of 70 years.
Oh, yeah. The Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam was sitting with his companions, and the companions heard a loud thump. They heard a loud sound. And they asked, Ya Rasulullah, what is that? And the Prophet ﷺ, he mentioned that a stone was thrown in the hellfire, and it's been falling for 70 years, and it just hit the bottom. Huh? We're talking about something for falling for 70 years, not 70 years old, Sheikh. No. So what happens here, it's been falling, and now if you got to think about it too. The scholars he mentioned, wait, one second. Lahda. 1 second. Something has been falling. For those who, mashallah, you brothers have been studying in college and degrees and what have you. Something falling, Musa. My sheikh, right? You just graduated, you got to know this. Something falling, movement. We're talking about gravity and everything. The speed, if something falls, if it's free falling, does it pick up speed?
No, it does not. It falls at a constant rate of speed.
Constant rate of speed. How fast though?
Like 142 miles an hour.
All right. Tayyib. Nah, really. All right, Tayyib. That's free falling. Does the weight determine it?
No.
Tayyib. My whole point here, if something is falling,
142 miles an hour.
and it's just falling for 70 years, and then it hits the bottom. How deep that has to be. That's number one. Number two, some of the scholars they mentioned, 70 in the Arabic language is indicative of a lot. So it could be even longer than that. It's like, for an example, in English, we say, man, I called Musa 100 times, man. He don't even pick up the phone. But did I really call him 100 times? No. I just love him so much, but I called him 3 times. It feels like I called him 100 times. He doesn't answer the phone. Play it. So, but here, so some of the scholars mentioned, anyway, it has fallen for 70 years, and it eventually did what? Hit the bottom. So therefore, the hellfire is extremely deep. The hellfire is also extremely wide because of what? Huh? The hellfire is extremely wide because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentions, or the hadith mentions, that Allah will also increase the people in size. He will increase them in size for them to feel more punishment. Just like he increases the people in size in Jannah for them to feel more pleasure, he increases the people in size in the hellfire to feel more punishment. There's one narration that mentions the distance between the shoulders of a person in the hellfire is a distance of a person traveling for 3 days, one person. But this, he increases them in punishment, increase them in size so they can feel more what? Punishment. It's mentioned the molar tooth of the person of the hellfire will be the size of Mount Uhud. All right? This is with the wisdom of Allah who increased them. We mentioned some of these things before, like there being 19 gatekeepers over the hellfire. We also mentioned that there's psychological torture when a person enters the fire, right? And also we mentioned these particular things. So you can take a picture of it, but we want to actually speed it up for the sake of time, inshallah. Here, let's go over some of I'm only going to mention 22 punishments. I'm going to go over each of these. Can anybody mention some of the punishments of the hellfire that they know of? Huh? Play here. What else? Standing what?
Getting your head cracked with a rock and your head healing and getting it cracked again.
That's in the barzakh. طيب.
Eat fiery sandals and make your brain boil.
طيب.
Eating from the tree of life.
Here, we're going to start with some of these. Some of these, number one, shoes made out of fire. Shoes made out of fire that some of the people that hellfire be made to wear, specifically who, is one hadith talks about one person.
Prophet's uncle.
Who is, what's his name? Well, he has many uncles, but not Lahab. Abu Jahl, Abu Talib. All right, we got to turn to a Series class. The Prophet had several uncles. Specifically, 4 of them are famous. 2 of them are in Jannah, 2 of them are in the fire. The Prophet, he had a lot of uncles, more than 4. But 4 that are famous, 2 of them are in Jannah and 2 of them are in the fire. What are these 2? Abu Talib is where? In hellfire. Abu Jahl is not his uncle. Abu Lahab. So you have these 2 are where? In fire. Abu Talib and Abu Lahab. What are the 2 that's in Jannah? Hamza. Abbas. These 2 are in Jannah. Wait. All right. So Abu Talib is mentioned here that what? Had a person, his uncle, he asked his uncle to say what? La ilaha illallah. La ilaha illallah. He refused to do so. One of his punishments will be what? To be wear fiery shoes, but these fiery shoes will cause his brains to what? To boil, subhanAllah. And it's mentioned that had the Prophet mentioned, had I not made dua for him, his punishment would have been what? Would have been worse than this. So one of the punishments that the people will suffer through is to wear fiery shoes. The second one, can you read number 2?
Only certain parts of the body.
Only certain parts of the body. You have the hadith in Sahih Muslim that's mentioned that certain parts of the fire will reach in certain parts of the body. Right? And it's mentioned depending upon the sins that they have committed. It will only burn certain parts of the body. Number 3 in Surah An-Nisa, chapter 4, verse 56. The skin being what?
Burnt off and come back.
Burnt off and actually being replaced. Burnt off and actually being replaced. Lesh, why?
You can feel it again.
Hmm?
You can feel it again.
Tayyib, feel it again? Anybody else?
Non-stop.
It's non-stop. That it continues. Alright? Now also here we also have another one. We mentioned about Allah increasing them in size. We mentioned that. But this is pretty interesting. 5 through 8. I want someone to go to Surah Ibrahim, verse number 50, and Surah Al-Hajj, 19 through 22. Huh? Yeah. Play it. Shaykh Ibrahim, verse 50. You have it? Not yet. Anybody who has it? Sheikh Musa or Sheikh Mansour. Play it.
Their trouser will be of pitch, and their fire shall cover their faces.
The people of the hellfire will wear clothes made out of fire and tar. They will also be beat with iron chains and boiling water poured on top of them. SubhanAllah. Chapter, if you read Surah Al-Hajj 19 to 22, who has it? SubhanAllah. Not only will the people be tortured with fire, Allah will also clothe them with clothing made out of what? Fire. For them to wear, and it will also be a form of punishment. One of the scholars, or somebody asked one of the scholars in the past, and he said that, Shaykh, I have a question. We believe that the jinn will make it to Jannah. Some of them will make it to Jannah, and some of them will make it to where? To the hellfire. But their asl of their creation is made out of what? Fire. So how can they be punished if they're originally from fire? Huh? Does anybody know how the Sheikh answered the question?
We're made of dirt.
It's a different kind of fire.
So what the Sheikh did though, right? When I was in Medina, right? The Sheikh actually told us the story. I didn't witness it, but he told us the story. And he said that when the students asked this question, how can the jinn be punished with fire, and he's made from fire? The Sheikh, he picked up a small rock and he flicked it and hit the student in the head. The student, he said, did it hurt? He said, yeah. He said, but you from the earth. Right? So nevertheless, having said that again, no matter what your origin is, your asl is, that this punishment here, this fire is something different. But also, we talk about food and drink. They will be punished with different types of food they have to eat and also what they have to drink. Can someone go to Surah Al-Haqqa?
Plus some blood.
Pus and blood. One of the things that the people of the hellfire, they will have to engulf, have to eat, is the own pus that comes out of their bodies. Allah will command that they have to what? That will be their food and that will be their drink. To drink the pus that comes out of their bodies. Here in Surah Al-Haqqa, you mentioned it earlier, Shaykh, as well. When one of the people, they mentioned, halaka anni, my power has been taken away from me, and my what? My money is of no benefit to me. Why did the person mention, why did he mention wealth and money?
Those are the things that you use in this world to get by.
Those are the what?
Those are the means of power in this world.
Those are the main resources of getting out of things what? In this dunya. Person has money, he has power, he can, quite frankly, he won't get in trouble with certain things. All right? And so here, but on Yawm al-Qiyamah, that doesn't mean anything to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, which is why the person will scream out, my wealth is of no benefit and my power is of no benefit. And Allah mentions, خُذُوهُ فَغَلُّوهُ. Seize him and then burn him. Here, so I want everybody to go to certain points. Can somebody go to Haqqa 35 to 36? Someone go to Dakhan 43 to 46. I want you to look at it very quickly.
So for him here this day there is no true friend. None nor any food except from the discharge of wounds.
SubhanAllah. Here, the people of, let me ask you this. In Jannah, Shaykh, in Jannah, is there any death? Absolutely not. So if you don't eat, are you going to die? So why do you eat in Jannah? Mercy from Allah. It's everything's out of pleasure. In the hellfire, if you don't eat, are you going to die?
No.
Yes or no?
No.
I can't see you, Sheikh.
No.
No, play it. So why would they have to eat it? You could be hungry. They're not hungry.
It's for punishment.
It's for what?
More suffering.
More suffering and more punishment.
They eat from the trees, zakum, right?
Zakum, they also eat from that too. And also this will cause them what? It will rip everything in the inside. So not only what they eat destroys what's in the inside, they're also burning in fire. They're made out of clothes with fire. They're being beat with iron chains as well. And then also, they will also have to drink the pus that comes out of their bodies. All right? This is just some of the punishment, huh? Play it. These are just some of the things that a person will, when we ask Allah to protect us from it, these are some of the things that a person will go through.
That's enough, do that next week. I'm telling you, just eat it.
Now, we're going to just go over a little bit. We're just going to go over a little bit, just a little bit more, and we'll finish. We'll continue next week, inshallah. He said, please, huh? Please. One of the things I want to mention specifically is Surah Al-Zumar, verse number 24. We're going to go back to it. We'll break it up into two parts. But Surah Al-Zumar, verse number 24, can you mention this? Can you read it? Excuse me. Surah Al-Zumar, verse number 24.
How woeful is the plight of him who has nothing except his face to shield him from severe chastisement on the day of resurrection. Such evildoers shall be told, taste now the consequences of your deeds.
What does that mean?
No self-defense.
When somebody, for an example, Musa, Mr. Black Belt. I don't want no smoke, Musa. I'm sorry, I want no problems with you, Akhi. May Allah bless you, I mean. I have a question. If someone is getting into a fight, or someone is trying to attack you, instinctively, what do you do as a human being? Even if you're not going to, you might lose, right? If I fight Musa, I'm going to lose. Right here. But instinctively, you do this, right? If you fall, if the kids run outside and they fall, distinctly, it's a natural defense to put your hands what? Up. It's natural. However, what happens here in the hellfire, Allah will purposely chain the people so they can't lift their hands and they will be beaten in the face with iron chains. This is the meaning of that. When Allah mentions, can you read it again?
How woeful is the plight of him who has nothing except his face to shield him from severe chastisement.
He has nothing but his face to shield him. All right, so this is one of the punishments of the hellfire is that the people will be chained up too, so there's no way to what? To defend themselves. All right. Another thing we want to mention too is we're going to go over number 15. This is the last thing we'll mention, and we'll continue next week, inshallah. But also Surah Al-A'raf, verse number 38.
Blame each other.
Blaming each other. Also, their breath is a punishment too. We're going to talk about. Don't say nothing, Habib. Say here. Last one we go for tonight is Surah Al-A'raf, verse number 38. 7:38. Who has it?
He, Allah, will say, enter you in the company of nations who have passed away before you, of the jinn and mankind into the fire. Every time a nation enters, it curses its sister
لعنت أختها.
until when they have all been made to follow one another therein. The last of them will say to the first of them, our Lord, these led us astray, so give them double punishment of the fire. He will say, for each one there is double torment, but you do not know.
Here, one of the punishments that people will go through in the fire is that they will play the blame game. It was because of them I was led astray. It was because of this one and this one. This is why the scholars of Sunday mentioned that no one has an excuse. It doesn't matter if you are a scholar. It doesn't matter if you are a layman. No one has an excuse. Right? Blind following and is not accepted for them to say, oh, it was our forefathers, oh, it was because of my sheikh, oh, it was because of my madhab, it was because of this, and so on and so forth. None of that matters on Yawm al-Qiyamah. So just like how the people will start to, oh, Allah, it was because of this one, because of this one, Allah, what is Allah's response to it? Both of you will have what? The punishment. It's not accepted. It is not accepted. Also, I remember, we'll end with this. There's something, Hassan al-Basri, he said this, and Allah knows best because this is a matter of the unseen. But this is what some of the scholars of the past. Have you ever heard of khutbah to Jahannam? The khutbah of Jahannam. Like the khutbah, like we have.
It's in Surah Ibrahim, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
What is the khutbah of Jahannam? Sheikh. Oh, A'udhu Billah. A'udhu Billah. You like dua for shaitan? I think what's going on, man? You're tired, inshallah.
It's been a long day.
Is it a long?
It's when Iblis, if I'm not mistaken, told the people of Jahannam,
لما قضي الأمر. Huh?
Yeah, the people will.
طيب. But before that, Hassan al-Basri, he says that one of the punishments that the people will go through is that when they're in the fire, right? You ever, and I want to say this, right? But don't raise your hand because some of your parents is here. But you ever been in trouble, right, with your friends and stuff like that, right? Musa, don't raise your hand. But anybody's ever been in trouble with a group of people, and one of the things, like, they start blaming each other. Oh, it was you. It was because of this, and so on and so forth. All right? They do that here. SubhanAllah. The reason why I mention that is that even in the hellfire, as mentioned after, while the people are being punished and while they're being tortured, they find excuses to blame other ones. And they'll find the main one, shaitan. I did this because of him. I did this because of him. Oh, Allah, have mercy on me. I did it. It was him. And the shaitan will mention when the affair has been decided, La tulumani walumu anfusakum. Don't blame me. Blame your what? Blame yourself. I had no power over you. I just whispered and you did what? You answered. Right? So here, Hassan al-Basri, he says, this is also while shaitan himself is being punished. And this is why the scholars of the past, they used to call this the khutbah of Jahannam. Right? The lesson of the hellfire. Where shaitan himself is being punished and he tells everyone, don't blame me, but blame yourself. I'm in here just like you. All right? And we ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to protect us all from that. Ameen. Next week, we're going to go a little bit more deeper into the different punishments of the fire. And then we'll end up talking about Jannah and inshallah, the different pleasures and things that will happen in Jannah. Wallahu ta'ala a'lam. Is there any questions very quickly?
Is it another standing of 100 years?
No, he asks, is there another standing of a few years? There's another narration, Wallahu a'lam, there's another narration that mentions that the people of the hellfire, they will call out to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala basically for a break. Like, let's ask Allah to take us out of here.
Intermission.
Right? An intermission or what have you. And it's mentioned in one narration, Wallahu a'lam, that the answer will not come down for hundreds of years later.
And this is the standing?
No, this is in the hellfire. And they mention Khalidina fiha, you will be in the fire forever.
I gotta let you hear something then.
Alright, so another standing on Yawm al-Qiyamah. For 50, we'll talk about it inshallah. Is there any other questions real quick? Very quickly. Isa? Hey. How many types of shirk? So you have several, right? And some of the scholars, they basically just break it down and they say all the other forms fit into this form. So obviously you have shirk akbar, right? Which is the major form of shirk, that you give the rights of Allah to something else, right? And then you have the minor form of shirk asghar. Within shirk asghar, you have the hidden form of shirk ri'ah. You have other different types of all those different levels. They say kulluhu yadkhul fi shirk asghar. Yeah. The Sheikh Wasim, I can't see you, Sheikh.
Like going to grade, like in a lot of countries we see, like when you go to Turkey or India, it's very common asking for things from people who have died in the prison. They could have been saints or righteous people. What do they consider shirk?
Yes, it's definitely considered to be shirk. And it's quite interesting, right? That we don't. No, what happens here, people when they see this in these different countries, whether it be in India or other places, I remember, was it Sheikh? When I was in Medina, it's a story very quickly. All right. One of the scholars named by Muhammad al-Aqeel, and he said that he gave a lecture. 1 second, brothers, 1 second. He said that he saw someone in Medina. They were at a grave and they was asking the person in the grave, like, "Oh, save me," and so on and so forth. Do this and do this. And he said, "I learned a lesson that day," because he started to chastise the person. He said, "Akhi, this is shirk, this is wrong." Like he was being harsh with him. And he said, "Akhi, 1 second. I'm older than you. I'm 70 years old. I remember the days when my mother used to take me to this graveyard and we used to do the same thing." And so he said that what he learned from that, it doesn't mean that he was wrong. He still corrected it, but he said that if we see something that's wrong that a person is doing from their traditions or what have you, then we also need to have wisdom and hikmah how we address it, how we address it, how we correct it. All right? We just don't come off and say, "Akhi, this is shirk, this is this, you're going to go to the hellfire," and so on and so forth. But it has to be corrected with some type of wisdom. But yes, it is shirk. It is shirk as well.
Depends, depends, If they ask him to be shafa,
Yes, if they're making dua for him, that's one thing.
Who's asking that?
No, it happens though, Sheikh. It happens. When people go to, yes, it does. If in certain cultures, they go and they ask the religious people, what happens here, here's a problem though. Here's a problem. No. Yes, but even asking them for shafa or saying intercede for me, one, you're asking someone who you don't even know the results of what they're going through. The Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he even told his own daughter Fatima, "Ask me for whatever you want. I can't help you in front of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala." Meaning everyone is going to be on their own. Yes. So when we talk about shafa'ah, there's two conditions for shafa'ah. That one, Allah has to be pleased with the shafi', the one who's interceding, and it has to be accepted. These people that we go to their graves or what have you, these saints, we don't know the reality of what they're going through. Just like you don't know the reality of me and I don't know the reality of you. So it'll be out of a loss to ask them for assistance. Will you ask who? For Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. He's all right? Tayyib, inshallah. Tayyib, we'll end with that, y'all, you guys. All right, subhanahu wa ta'ala. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuh.